I keep asking, where are all the good people at? And then I open up the news and I see a good story. You're not going to believe this story tonight. I'm doing a lot of stuff right now as it happens behind the scenes. Lots of stuff going on. Whoa, whoa. I've got so much stuff to tell you about, but I'm not quite ready. It's not put together, it's not nailed down, but it's unbelievable all over the place. Okay, slow down, Bernie. So, one thing that's happening that I'm a little concerned about is the sentencing for Mayor Margot Anderson is set for next week. And I know the guidelines are in. Okay, so you remember the deal, right? So in August of 2020, there's a big press conference. And the FBI and Sheriff Ford tells us they're going to crack down. There's been so much corruption throughout Bay County, and they're starting with the Lynn Haven mayor, Margot Anderson. Remember that? And she was hit with 64 counts of public corruption. Holy smokes. Turns out, they said, a lot of it was with James Finch, the wealthy big developer in Lynn Haven, and her lifelong friend. Boy, she's been steering contracts his way, and they've been making out like bandits. Regular Bonnie and Clyde right here under our very noses. And as we learned about it, we found out that they weren't charged with stealing anything, but rather honest services fraud. She was steering contracts to him. Then we found out that wasn't true at all. It turned out that the contracts were recommended by the city attorney and the city manager, and the story. The council all voted unanimously for all the projects. The community loved the projects, especially the 17th Street Ditch project, which was finished in 2017. And so it ended up, they dropped all the charges, all 64 charges against Mayor Margot Anderson. They ripped her out of her seat, charged her with 64 counts, said Finch gave her a motorhome. Everybody said, my God. And on loop, you saw the sheriff's office drive the motorhome out of there at least 100 times on WMBB. Well, then they found out, well, damn, her husband did pay for the motorhome. And they brought it back to her. But actually, they didn't bring it back to her. Her husband had to go get it where the federal government leaves it out in a field for 3 years. But they got the RV back that they bought. And all accounts were like that. But the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office, Justice Department, they said, look, we'll drop all the charges, but you just admit that you told us you met Mickey White in December of 2018. You say you met him in October, right? You met him in October, right? And we'll drop everything. But you'll be a convicted felon. I know it's been 4 Christmases you've been going through this. Your best friend and your husband battling through some pretty serious health issues. We arrested you when you were 65 years old. It's been 4 Christmases. How long do you want to go through this? But if you just admit to what you did, you met Mickey White in October, right? Okay. And for that, she'll be sentenced next week. That's the whole thing. The plea deal was not she met Mickey White in October in order to conspire, in order to none of that. Just she met him 2 months earlier. That was the big lie. It says misstatement to the FBI. But, call it a lie. And hopefully she'll get some jail time for what she did. What did she do? So she'll be sentenced next week. And the guidelines when she took the deal was she's been on probation for how long? So it was 0 days in jail up to 6 months in jail. And when I was in the hearing, Judge Walker said, I can do less than that and I can do more than that. I'm a federal judge. I'm the chief judge here. And I'll take a few things into account. And two of the things that he mentioned was a previous record. First time. She has no previous record. When she gets arrested big time, right? No previous record. And the severity of the offense. All right, let's take a look at this. Mayor Anderson, what did you cop to? You met him in October, but you said December? What else did she do? That's it. That's it. All right, well, I'm going to base it on your previous record and the severity of the offenses. 0 days in jail to 6 months in jail. In prison. So no telling. The way things have gone, I've gotten probably just about every prediction wrong. In terms of if something will be dismissed or if something will be, somebody will be acquitted. I've got those things wrong. But what have I gotten right? What have I gotten right about this whole thing? Yeah, Bernie, what have you gotten right? Well, I'm thinking of a word. I'm searching for a word. The facts. Just the facts. Just the stuff WMBB lied to you about. And I didn't know this because a year and a half ago, I said that Finch had bribed her. And they said, have you looked at the, we're going to be able to show you the evidence pretty soon. I said, I'll look at it real closely, but I'm going to tell everybody what I see. Are you sure? Here's everything. And then I went to the trial. I went to the hearings, and I told you that there's no evidence, none. In fact, there's evidence that points elsewhere. Unbelievable. And so now that'll happen. James Finch, he's got a different lawyer now, and he has a second trial date. Yeah, when you're James Finch, they also pile a bunch of counts against you and then drop them. But he's left with two. There are two counts. He is charged with conspiracy to bribe and the bribe itself. I'm going to tell you when his second trial is. And I'm going to tell you what he did to the people who have done this to him in just a moment.
Is your past ruining your future? Having your record sealed or expunged wipes the slate clean, providing you with a new opportunity in life. I'm Al Saulene, your Panama City Beach lawyer. 215-0628.
You want to look good? You want to feel good? Little John's Big and Tall is where it's at. Right across the street from Sky's Pizza Pie, 5700 North Davis Highway. You can find out more online at littlejohnsbigandtall.com. He's also a member of the iTex trading community, where your iTex dollars are welcome.
So in March, James Finch went in front of a jury of his peers, and the United States, imagine seeing a piece of paper, and it says, the United States of America versus you. It's weird every time I open it up and I look at a new pleading. The United States of America versus James Finch. Oh man, he must have done something big. And you by now you know what he's done. You know what he did. We all know what he did. Well, there was a hung jury because the jury, there was no evidence to show he did there. But we know what he did. He loaned Lynn Haven, the city of Lynn Haven, he loaned them $5.2 million at half the going interest rate for 30 years. Because the city said, look, we got people driving into this ditch, which is more like a ravine. It reminds me of such a funny story. All right, I'm not going to tell you the story. It's a funny story about when my girls were little and I tossed one of them across a little tiny ditch and I told them it was a ravine. Oh, she made it all the way across, but the ravine was at an angle. So when she hit the ravine, her butt right in the water. Daddy, don't throw me across the ravine anymore. Anyway, but this was a big one. This was huge, and it was miles long. People were crashing into this big, giant ditch along the side of the road in Lynn Haven. The city said, look, we can't afford to fix it. We don't have enough money to fix it. We're paying millions of dollars to all the engineers and contractors. We don't have time to fix the safety risk where one poor lady crashed in it and died. But we can do a little bit at a time, 200 feet at a time. And since Phoenix Construction is doing a good job right here, has all the equipment and is the cheapest, we'll keep. Well, in 2016, the then city manager, Joel Schubert, said, look, we really got to get this done. And James Finch has offered to loan us the money. He'll be the Bank of James. And the city manager was calling it the Fix It Now project. We got to fix it now. Finch said, I can fix it now. It'll take me about a year, but I'll fix the whole thing. Well, we don't have the money, Mr. Finch. I'll loan it to you. Well, the interest rate's 5.8%. I'll loan it to you for 2.55. Everybody said, hell yeah. Thanks, James. Thanks, James Finch. And he fixed it. And the people on the west side and the east side are all saying it's beautiful now, it's safe. And the city said, well, the payments are pretty high. Finch said, pay me back when I'm making a 30-year mortgage. The city said, really? Still at 2.55? Yep. And so the city just has to make their last payment to James Finch when he's about 95 years old. And then they'll be square. That's what he did. Sheriff's office says he's the biggest crook around. And so does the FBI. He doesn't get a plane, a jet plane, just doing good stuff like that. You know, he's got to have done some bad stuff. And we may not have the evidence here, but we're not giving up. So hung jury, after they saw everything, hung jury, but they said, we're going to try it again. Not Andrew Gillum. They dropped those. But James Finch, boy, we're not letting go. So the trial's set for October 2nd. You got the city manager, Vicki Gaynor, going on the witness stand and saying the opposite of what she told the FBI in the FBI memos. She, under oath, says one thing on the witness stand and a different thing to the FBI agents. She said something to the FBI. Hell, she told the FBI agents I was on Finch's payroll. And my name made it into the FBI memos. The only reason Thompson's doing this, FBI, she told the FBI late last year. What the hell? I'm part of the case now. You better believe it, Thompson. We're watching your ass. Is this America? Have you not been watching the national news, Thompson? She told the FBI I was on Finch's payroll. She lies to the FBI on the regular about many things. About walking in on Michael White and the FEMA lady. One time she says she walked in, they were having sex. She clutched her pearls. Another time she says, absolutely not. The FEMA lady, this is what she said in court to the judge. The FEMA lady was just slumped over. slumped over. What time was it? Well, it was late at night. They were in the office. I thought he was alone. So I just opened up the door and, she was just slumped over, though. I don't know what they were doing. I wasn't there. I just know there's 2 accounts from Vicki Gaynor, both under oath. But she has protection. But now we know after the Durham report, hell, the FBI pays people to say things. Protection's cheap. I don't know why she gets to say stuff like this. I have no idea. They don't talk to me anymore. I was misled. Anyway, back to James Finch. So I look at WMBB today because you need cheap entertainment, want to find out what's happening. And holy smokes, they knew something I didn't know. They found out that James Finch offered the city of Lynn Haven, the Bank of James is still there, in good favor. Says, look, I see you guys were talking about the splash pads, and kids love these splash pads. They're like little water parks, one on each side of the busy Highway 77. That way the kids can just ride their bikes without having to, home and back, without having to go across the busy road. This was Mayor Margo Anderson's big idea, by the way. This is something she's super proud of. But as you know, the current mayor, Jesse Nelson, who has a doctor of leadership, he said, but he's taking him off now because we're on to him. A doctor of leadership, imagine. So Mayor Nelson and City Manager Gaynor and a few others over there, they tear down the old welcome sign, get rid of a splash pad, put in a skateboard for park for adults. Oh, and teenagers, Bernie, get it straight. But, the splash pads are breaking down, and they're awful expensive to maintain. So this is incredible. So James Finch does this. I'll show you. All right. Let's hear it from one of the nicest people in the news.
Weeks ago, we told you about problems with one of the children's splash pads in Lynn Haven. Workers discovered leaks and pipe problems at the James Finch splash pad at the Kinsall Park more than a year ago. Engineers say it will cost about $100,000 to repair. City commissioners say they're considering converting the splash pad into a skate park. Phoenix Construction built the splash pad for the city. Owner James Finch has responded to the issue in a letter to the city. Finch saying he built the park to make children happy, and he will donate $75,000 to the city to pay for the repairs, no strings attached. City leaders declined to comment on the letter, saying it will likely be discussed at a future commission meeting. You can read the full letter right now at mypanhandle.com.
All right, let's do that. Let's read the letter right now. Here it is.
Year-old Panama City man is dead.
Boy.
A 69-year-old Fountain woman suffering minor injuries.
Huey Lewis in the news interrupted me. All right, here's the letter from Phoenix Construction signed by James Finch. If I make it, I think you can see that. Okay. So it's was May 22nd. Attention, Mayor Jesse Nelson. Regarding the Lynn Haven splash pads. Dear sir, the city of Lynn Haven approached my company, Phoenix Construction Services, Inc., asking for my help with making the splash pads a reality for the citizens. I agreed to take on the obligation for $400,000, knowing that the city had received bids that were in excess of $500,000. This is back in I think this would have been late 2017. I finished both splash pads. They were inspected and approved by the city before Hurricane Michael hit. I did the work and spent over $70,000 of my own money making this a reality for the children. I did not do this so the city would name one of the splash pads after me. By the way, the city did, but it was in very small letter. You'd have to walk up really close to see James Finch's name. I've never seen such a relationship. If you've ever seen a toxic relationship, this is what it looks like. Somebody who gets and gets and gets, and amazing. I did so I could see the children's smiles and hear their laughter while they were enjoying the park. As I remember, the kids love them both. It's because I would like to see that continue that I'm offering to donate $75,000 toward the repairs and improvements the city needs to make on the splash pads. If this donation is accepted, the city can use city employees to complete the improvements and repairs, and I will provide only the donation offered herein. If the city desires to do away with the splash pad at Kinsall Park, I understand and I have no objections. However, if the city is interested in my donation for the splash pads, I'm available if there are any questions or further discussion is required. Signed, James Finch. Now, after the way the city, specifically the police chief, the vulgar and vindictive police chief, who was put on the witness stand in December of last year, and that's when we found out all the ugly and vindictive things that he would text and say and do, and the wrongful arrest he made of a woman as a favor for then city manager Michael White, his bro buddy. Anyway, he got so mad, Chief Ramey did, on that Monday, that by the end of the week, in December of last year, Chief Ramey arrested James Finch's wife and said that she was in possession of cocaine. Now, the charges all had to be dropped because it took the prosecutors a while. State Attorney Larry Bassford took them a while, months, to realize that, we don't have any evidence. And they listed 7 reasons why they could not get any conviction. But, boy, it sure tortured James Finch's wife. And WMBB left her picture on the front page, took up the whole front page of their website for 24 hours. Does that sound like a front page story? Go to WMBB.com and watch how fast they rotate their front page stories. And James Finch offers to help them still. And they rub their hands together and write what the U.S. attorneys want them to write and maybe tell them to write over a bribe where he loaned the city his own money. Said, don't pay me back till I'm 95. Boy, I've shown you the videos from back in 2016, 2017. Everybody was so grateful and happy, unanimous votes. It wasn't anything like they described, that the mayor had directed them to do this so that she could get a free RV. Why did the FBI and Sheriff Ford and the U.S. Attorney's Office and everybody, why did they lie to us from beginning to end? Why have they not arrested anybody else when something like $400 million of FEMA money flowed through Bay County? And I know that they know that there were kickbacks and there was a lot of theft and a lot of putting off cleaning up this area at inflated prices. A lot of new companies made, providing masks, just all kinds of stuff. Sometimes I don't even know what to say. You know, I've been thinking lately, and I'm going to end with this. I've been thinking about, tell me if you felt this way lately, that almost anywhere you turn, certainly if you turn on the news, that it's pure propaganda, and you know they're lying. Take Tom Lewis and them, for example. Take WMBB. I know they're lying. You know they're lying. They know that you know that they're lying, and they do it anyway. And then I watch our Congress talk to us. I watch our president talk to us. I watch our sheriff talk to us. I watch our commissioners talk to us. I watch our states, our U.S. Senator talk to us. Every time I turn around, I'm so close to it. It's a lie. And they do it with impunity. And then, to add insult to injury, turns out that if you lie to the government about anything, even a month or two, you're going away. But they lie to you with impunity about big stuff. Politics has always been dirty, but it does feel like it's ramped up. And I've explained, and I'm not going to do it again, why the news does it more since 2015. But there's something about, I go to Mexico Beach, and I'm watching these people orchestrate coordinated lies. Looking at each other, it's your turn. It's your turn. No, I know it says that the mayor's the CFO, chief financial officer. I know that, but that is refuted by this over here. It's not what your official legal opinion says. It's not what the charter says. Yes, Bernie, but it's complicated. Remember this. I'll leave you with one thing. There's 3 words. Complexity masks fraud. Anytime they tell you it's awfully complex, we need a legal opinion. Complexity masks fraud. And it's not going to work. They've had big time protection. The FBI, they all know what happened in Mexico Beach. And now Mexico Beach is in a pure panic to hide the finances, all the financial statements, all the contract, everything. But I'm used to that. But what's hard on a soul is looking around and the coordinated propaganda and lies that hurt our community, that hurt the people who are lying. Look what they've become. But it's the layer upon layer upon layer of lies that is just unbelievable. So there's a lot going on, and I've got to do some stuff behind the scenes, and I got a lot to share with you. A lot to share. Big stuff this week, next week, and after that. But I couldn't believe I look on there, and there's James Finch. I know you guys, determined to, put me away for life, but saying you don't have the money. Here's the money. Go do the right thing. You think they will? We'll find out.
Don't let back pain and neck pain get you down. Find relief at Brown Chiropractic Center on St. Andrews Boulevard in Panama City. Dr. Sherry Brown helps people heal naturally with chiropractic adjustments and deep tissue massage. Call 769-3777. It's a hot time in Florida, and my friend Ryan can make sure your air conditioning is running at peak efficiency. He could even install a new one, built to a higher standard, American standard. Find out more at pcairrepair.com. And of course, I want to thank the Unknown Patriot for your support, for supporting my efforts to tell you the truth the best I can find it, no matter where it leads. Can't do it if you're working for the big stations or the radio station. Can't do it. They won't let you do it. So I rely on you, and I appreciate it so much. Also, if you want to support my efforts, here's one way you can do it. You can become a patron at patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It's kind of like giving a tip as little as $5 a month. Patreon.com/Bernie Thompson. It's easy. It's anonymous. It's anonymous. And you can quit at any time. And I sure appreciate all of you who support the show and help us to keep doing this. All right. I will see you soon with some big stuff this week.